Hey, it's Joy. I've got big feelings about little things, and I want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm mad about it. And the fact that everyone else is not up in arms about it is a big part of the problem. Oh, I bawled my eyes out, like I always do. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, it was the cutest thing. It was the funniest thing. Thanks for being here. Let's go.
Hi, how are you? Thanks so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you're here. I lost my voice last week and I can hear it still just a little bit. I'm about 85%, but I haven't lost my voice in such a long time. And when I was a kid, I used to lose my voice all the time. I would love to scream my face off at a concert, at a football game, at a whatever, at a lock-in. Can you imagine people setting up a lock-in right now? Like we don't do that anymore, right? I mean, I'm just assuming. I'm just assuming because of the way things are in this world. Like, no way would someone have a lock-in now. And why would I be screaming my head off in a lock-in? That's how annoying I was. And I just loved to scream. And I used to do it so much, I would lose my voice. And now I think I ruined that part of my vocal cord that can scream because I can't scream even if I try to now. It's like that little part is gone. And I wish I could tell you, oh, I was up late singing karaoke all night, or I was at a Stars game. I mean, I wish I could tell you I was somewhere fun, doing something fun. I really wasn't. I think, honestly, I was just worn out. You know that thing where you're not sick, but your body's just like, seriously, enough? Like you're tired. You need a break. I think my body was like, you need a break. And if you're not going to take a break, you at least need to shut up. so so thank you so much for just being patient through that and listening to an old classic last week. I definitely appreciate it. And even when my voice came back, it's been back a couple days now. I could like I said, I can still hear it. It's a little bit like it's not 100%, but it's back. It's back enough. But even after my voice came back, I came to record this, I mean, at least 4 times before I actually like hit record and started it. And I can't exactly say what that was about. I definitely know there's tons of times that something will be on my to-do list and I won't want to do it for whatever reason, or there's something that's holding me back, or I have a little bit of anxiety about doing that thing. I don't want to make that phone call, or I don't want to, I was about to say balance that checkbook. I don't balance a checkbook anymore, but I don't want to look into that thing, or I don't want to investigate this. I don't really want to know what this is. I don't want to make this thing happen. And then at that point, so I put it on my to-do list. And then the next time I don't do it, it really starts to gather some momentum of like, ugh, is this thing really that bad? Do I just really not want to make this appointment? Or do I just really not want to make this phone call? Or do I just really not want to go through that closet? Whatever that thing is that I just don't want to do. And then it'll get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then suddenly it's a month later and I'm like, oh, here's an old to-do list from last month, and that item is still there. And guess what? I haven't made the appointment. I haven't gone through the closet. I haven't whatever. And sometimes I think just the act of putting it off makes it worse. Because then my brain's like, well, what? Wait, why doesn't she want to do this so bad? This must be horrible. I don't want to do this thing. Let's forget about it. Let's push it way back. Let's whatever, watch TV. Let's goof off on our phone. Let's read a book. Let's go out. Let's call somebody. Let's something. Let's clean out a different closet. Let's investigate another thing. See, there's where you hear it. It sounds like you know, a teenage boy going through puberty with that little thing right there. I When I was growing up, I would always refer to this old Brady Bunch episode. Now that I'm thinking about it, was Brady Bunch when I was growing up, which was like the 80s, was the Brady Bunch already old at that time? Because it was on in the afternoon. It wasn't like on Friday night. When did Brady Bunch originally air? I do feel like it was. I'm supposed to know this. Okay, I'll have to investigate it, but I would watch it like it was on in the afternoons, like it was an old show. But there was this gorgeous episode, perfect episode one time where Peter was going through puberty and his voice started to crack. And wouldn't you know it, it's right at this time where the gang had just started a singing group. The six of them had finally started a singing group. It's the Sound of Music years, where the three boys and the three girls. So the Brady Bunch, I really hope I have a listener young enough to not know what the Brady Bunch is. So I'm going to tell you. A mom with three daughters and a dad with three sons. And if I'm telling this story right, each of their respective spouses had passed away, I believe. And they met and joined together into one big family. So there was 6 kids now under the same roof, a dog, Tiger the dog, and they'd had a maid slash cook slash just household runner to help them do all this stuff. And they were always getting into shenanigans and stuff, of course. There's 6 kids, right? And at one point, they did start a singing group for whatever reason. And when Peter's voice started to change, that started to be a big problem because you need to have a strong singing voice, right? If you're going to be a singing group. And maybe the oldest daughter, probably Marcia. Everyone used to say, I don't know who used to say that, probably Jan. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all these details. It's too late, Joy. But somebody, I'm guessing it was Marcia, wrote a song that could use Peter's voice and the cracking and the changing of the voice to make the song even more apropos for this group. And it was, when it's time to change, then it's time to change. And then Peter would come in and go, time to change. So that is one of those little things that sticks in the back of my mind. And every once in a while, when someone says change or it's time to change or something, that pops up in my head. And anytime anybody's lost a voice or has a little crack in their voice, that episode pops back up. So I was singing that a lot last week. Not singing it really with my voice, singing it in my mind. So I tried to do this episode. I couldn't, of course, when I didn't have a voice. I was whispering a lot. It was kind of interesting. I'm sure me losing my voice was a dream come true to some people. And it was a very interesting new energy to bring because when you're whispering everything, I'm sure you can angry whisper. Can you angry whisper? Yes, I know you can angry whisper because I grew up in the church. And if my mom wasn't giving me side eye or I wasn't paying attention to the side eye, I'm quite sure she would, girls, get it together. You can angry whisper for sure. But I was just quiet and I had a little whisper. It was kind of nice. It was like, everybody come down here with me. Come, we're just going to whisper. We're going to bring it in slow. We're going to bring it in soft. And so now it's back, though I forgot all about that. And even with my voice back, I just couldn't quite get my head around recording an episode, sitting down, pressing record and going. And I think what was going on is this podcast, I'm always talking about my big feelings and what are my big feelings? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I happy? Am I laughing? Am I nostalgic? And the only feeling that I could even put my finger on was blah. Just absolute blah. And what is that even? And is that even a big feeling? Or is that just the lack of feeling? And what do I even say about that? Because it just sounds to me like depression. When there's nothing motivating you, there's nothing there. There's nothing to, it just feels like depression, but it's not. You know what? Is it ennui? Are you familiar with ennui? Ennui is a French term. I'm going to mess this up, but I think it's spelled Ennui. The very first time I ever heard of ennui was I was working in the hospital. I was working in an ICU, and we treated adults, but we had this one random kid come see us because for whatever reason, her sickness was very specific, and it was the kind of thing that we dealt with all the time. And they didn't really deal with it at the children's hospital. So they brought this lovely child across the street, and we were treating her there. And it was going to be a few week type of deal. And we had rounds. Rounds at the hospital is when, like, once a day, kind of everybody on the team gets together and talks at the same time. So it's particularly, I think I've only seen it in the ICU. But if a patient is really sick, you can't waste time with this doctor over here looking at this scan and talking about this plan, and then the nurse sees that she needs to do this, and then the pharmacist sees that she needs to do this, and then over here is the whomever else, physical therapist. You got to just all stand together and make a plan and make sure what you're asking for is not getting in the way of what he wants to do, and all vice versa, and make sure we're all on the same page and that nobody missed anything. So that's rounds. We went to rounds, and this doctor said, I think she's got ennui. And I was like, she's got what? He's like, ennui. As if I know what that is, or as if it's some diagnosis for something. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, she just doesn't want to do anything. And I'm like, even at that time, I was like, isn't that just depression? And also, why would she want to do anything? She's a kid. Not only is she living in a hospital, she's living in this adult hospital. Everything's boring. Nothing, and at least at a kid's hospital, people are like walking by and things are brightly lit and people are nice and we've got cartoons on and we've got, somebody's walking by to give you a cute little stuffed animal or a little stress ball or something. I mean, we at least are more fun than a boring old adult hospital. Like, of course she has ennui or whatever you want to say. And I remember writing it in my notes and I was like, ANW, like, what is this? How do you spell this? But this lovely generation, they get to hear about ennui from Inside Out. Inside Out, if you haven't seen it, ennui actually doesn't show up until Inside Out 2. Both of those shows are so great about talking about emotions and how they work together, how they fight each other, how they feel like they can take over. And the girl in this show is a young, like, preteen girl. Who better to have as a person talking about big feelings than that? So ennui is in Inside Out, each feeling has like a personality to it. Joy is, she's a delight, of course. And I dressed up as her for Halloween last year. It was really, really fun. But joy is this, anger's angry, depression is sad, fear is, they're what's the word? They're animated into that feeling is their personality. And it shows in what they wear and how their hair is and everything. And ennui is, she kind of does look French. She's tall and thin. I think she has straight cut bangs and long straight hair. And she's just like, whatevs. Nothing phases her, nothing excites her, nothing upsets her. She just wants to lay on the couch and scroll on her phone. She's not upset about it. She just doesn't really care. It's kind of blah. And I'll be honest with you, I know way more what to do about anger and sadness and depression and fear, even, than ennui. Because if you don't want to do anything, you don't really want to do anything about not doing anything. And the things that you go do when you're feeling that blah, that nothingness, is nothing that's going to give you more energy or excite you. I really look back. I have not been working out. I've not been socializing a lot. Quite literally, I am like this cartoon, and I'm just like scrolling my phone, whatevs, doing whatever. And I kind of wonder if some of this isn't fed by fatigue, because I will say I was tired going into this season, and I think I really felt the fatigue during that season too. And I have not one clue what to do to kind of snap myself out of it. So obviously I'll take your recommendations, but I do think now that I'm realizing this is what it is, and realizing I don't really have a plan for it, I do know some of those things that do give me energy and do light me up. I do need to do those things because that'll at least give me a chance. I also read one time, when you're feeling, I'm just going to say blah again. I'm not sure that's what they said, but they said when you're feeling like you're run down, treat yourself as if you're sick. Meaning, calling to work, wouldn't that be great? But in the sense that when you're sick, what do? You take a little break. You're really kind to yourself. You sleep a little bit more. You drink a lot of fluids. And you bump up your immune system a little bit. Take some vitamin C. You eat a fruit. You eat an orange to make sure you don't get scurvy or whatever. You give yourself some nourishing food. And you be kind to yourself. And I don't know that that's going to fix the ennui, but on it, that sounds really good. And I do know that I'm dehydrated. So even if this doesn't fix everything, I darn sure know I need some water and a little bit of rest. Wow. Okay, this was like real-time realizations here. So definitely hit me up if you know what to do about ennui. And if you haven't seen Inside Out, definitely do that so that we can talk more. And, I don't know if it will help you to see the Brady Bunch, but it's really not going to hurt.
Thanks for listening to Little Things, Big Feelings with Joy Delaney. I'm James, the producer, editor, director, and executive producer. Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Honestly, forget TikTok. I don't even know how to use it anyway.
You don't know how to use it anyway.
James?
Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram and Facebook. See you next week.